I'm Josh Moss. I'm a Bigfoot researcher here in the Pacific Northwest, here in Portland, Oregon, and welcome to the inaugural first episode of Squatchin with Josh. Today we're going to be looking for Sasquatches in Portland's own Powell Butte Nature Park here deep in the heart of southeast Portland. A lot of people would think Sasquatches can't live in such an urban area, but I tend to disagree. Sasquatches are known for their ability to cloak, and Sasquatches and Bigfoots are known for their ability to travel between many extra normal and paranormal and multi-dimensional portals. So I think this deep wooded area here in the center of southeast Portland would be a perfect habitat and nesting area for Sasquatches. So today we'll be looking for evidence of Sasquatches in the form of nesting areas and stick structures, potentially trackways. And, you know, like always, we'll hope to get a sighting. So thank you for joining us on this adventure. I've brought along my trusty dog, Pep, who's been trained in the sense of various Sasquatch evidence. And so we'll see what she can turn up as well. As you can see, Powell Butte Nature Park is a deep wooded area that would provide plenty of cover, habitat, and food for many clans or family groups of the Sasquatch or Bigfoot species to live off of, and a lot of shelter for them during the different seasons. The thing about researching Sasquatch is you might not find evidence any day you go out, but a lot of researchers call it hiking with a purpose or camping with a purpose. And so whether or not you find any evidence or see a Sasquatch or prove that they're real, you've gotten the fringe benefit because you got out in nature. Just a little ways into the nature park, I've observed a game trail here. It's probably used most often by deer, but potentially Sasquatches or Bigfoots could use this path to traverse this area while keeping out of sight of humans. Pep seems to have noticed some scents here, but I can't be sure what she's found. She doesn't seem too interested in this area, so I think I'm going to keep moving on. There are many heated debates within the Sasquatch community, and one especially heated debate is sort of the classic flesh and blood versus paranormal entity. What is Sasquatch? Or as some people even now believe, is it some kind of biblical relic, the Nephilim of Genesis, the product of angels mating with human women? Personally, I don't see why it can't be all of these things. Why can't a flesh and blood entity that was born of the union of angels and human women possess technology to travel through portals? I don't see why this can't all be true at the same time. Here we have a tree break, which many researchers have noted that Bigfoots often use to mark their territory. Look at the thickness of this branch. I got my trusty measuring tape here. Always bring a measuring tape when you go researching. Looks like this branch is about 3 to 4 inches thick, and it'd be pretty hard for a human being to break, but probably Sasquatch could make pretty quick work of it. So since we have this tree break, this bluff, this little ridge line here behind the tree break could potentially be a hidden nesting zone where, they might even be having some juveniles bed down back there and marking the territory with this tree break. Behind me is an interface area between the nature park and some local homes and properties. I'd be envious of anyone who owned a property this close to such a squatchy area. Wouldn't surprise me at all if there was a habituation situation going on here. We're only about 500 yards from where I had found that tree break, which probably denotes a nesting or breeding area. Wouldn't be surprised at all if the Squatches interacted with these property owners or went onto these properties looking for food. Peps has found a scent here near a property where there's a horse. Squatches are known to be attracted to horses, probably because they'll steal from the horse's food troughs. This horse's paddock or pen butts right up against the park, which would make an excellent foraging opportunity for any local Bigfoots in the area. You can see that this is a managed wildlife habitat area back here, but this also happens to be the same ridge that was marked off by that tree break. Many Sasquatch and Bigfoot researchers tend to think that local governments are covering up the existence of Sasquatches, and it seems to be a pretty big coincidence that they want to keep us out of this area. The local Portland Parks Department makes you wonder what they might be hiding back here. Mountainous terrain such as this provides plenty of places for Sasquatches and Bigfoots to bed down and sort of live out of sight of human observation. As I'm reaching the top of the butte, I've found another tree break on a real thick branch this time, about 6 feet off the ground, and looks pretty old. This branch looks to be about 4 inches thick and coming off of a healthy tree. Definitely wouldn't be possible to do with regular human strength. And it's interesting because this tree break is on the north side of the ridge where I found the other tree break. Really kind of points to the fact that the Bigfoots might be marking off that particular ridge as their nesting area. Hit the top of the butte and I found something very interesting. These areas of smashed down grass here definitely indicate bed down areas, and Pep has seemed to alight on a scent here that I can maybe even still observe. There's a very musky scent in the area. I'm going to go in for a measurement on these bed down areas right on the edge of the ridge here, and we're getting out onto the main butte area. We've got some bed down areas, and it's looking like these spots are about, let's see here. Oh crap! I think that's poison oak. Oh crap! It's in my eye. It's in my eye. Yeah, so it seems like these bed down areas were about 6 by 6 feet in size, which would be about the size for a juvenile Sasquatch, or potentially 2 to bed down for the night. I'm at the top of the butte now, and I've seen a couple more bed down areas on the edge of the meadow that are about the same size, about 6 by 6 feet. Some are a little bigger, where perhaps a adult Bigfoot could bed down. Behind me, you can sort of see the primal expanse of Powell Butte Nature Park, and you wouldn't know that you're in the heart of deep southeast Portland, and I just wouldn't be surprised at all if any number of family groups of Sasquatch called this park home, or at least passed through on their yearly migration routes, considering that the Pacific Northwest is a hotbed for Sasquatch activity. This is a view from above the ridge that I believe to be the Sasquatch nesting area. You can see the top of the ridge right in the middle of the frame right about now. And I'm going to descend back down to my vehicle on the south side of this ridge, see if I can find any more evidence. This eye. There's a massive bed down area along the trail. Looks like at least one family group of Sasquatch has been taking up residence here for a couple nights. This is exciting evidence for Sasquatch living here in deep southeast Portland in the Powell Butte Nature Park. Portland Parks Department has a lot of questions to answer. So we're almost back to the vehicle, but no research trip would be complete without a couple calls. I don't know if we'll get a response, but it's worth a shot. Just throw a couple Sasquatch calls out there. This is a technique you might recognize from the classic TV show Finding Bigfoot. I'm no Bobo, but here goes nothing. Oh! Well, we didn't get any responses from those calls, but like I said, no research trip is complete without them. Well, we found some pretty good evidence here in Powell Butte Nature Park, deep in the heart of southeast Portland, and I'd wager that at least 3 family groups of Sasquatches, juveniles and adults, call this place home. But we didn't see a Squatch. It's very rare. But most importantly, we made the trip and we got out in nature and we went hiking with a purpose, as us Sasquatch researchers like to say. So I appreciate you joining me on the first episode of Squatchin with Josh, Powell Butte Nature Park.